podcasting's not just competing with themselves, but with Netflix and video games. And so one of the strengths of independent podcasting that I think the Wonderies of the world and Spotify still haven't picked up on is that podcasting, right from the beginning, was a niche within a niche. So, for example, one of the things I love to do is search for unique podcasts. So there's a guy who, he hasn't done one in a little bit. He does a podcast about tattoos, which isn't that unusual, and he has a video part, of course. You can show the tattoos, but the difference is he does it about tattoos that people have messed up, and so it's actually pretty hilarious. And so he goes around apparently and takes pictures of people's tattoos, and he'll say, well, somebody will have a misspelling or whatever. But the whole idea, I mean, it's kind of quirky, but the whole idea is that you can have a podcast in which the topic is so arcane that no other format would even touch it. They're like, okay, if I write a book on this, how many people will read it? 50 people? But with a podcast, I think I was telling you earlier, there's a woman that I used to work with. She started a sewing podcast called So What, which is a great name. She ended up with, she passed during COVID, but she ended up with 5,000 listeners before she passed on a sewing podcast. It was amazing. And if she didn't do it weekly, she would get people saying, well, where's the podcast? And so you would think, well, who wants to hear about sewing? Well, apparently at least 5,000 people did. She didn't do any marketing, or she didn't do any social media, no SEO, zero, and she still got 5,000 people.